you should read books, and I will tell you why. But before that, why haven't you started reading books yet? You may pause the video and think about it. Why haven't you started reading books yet? I have already posted my story of how I started reading books and from which book I started reading from. If you would like to check that out, I would leave the link in the description or the comment. I think we don't read books because we have this prejudgment against books, that books are boring and those who read books are termed as nerds. I'll tell you this. There was this game named Clash of Clans and I was so prejudgment against it. I was so against it that I never wanted to play it. It seemed like was made for LKG students, but once I started playing it, I became so addicted towards it. The same thing happened to me with anime also. I never watched any anime and I consider those who watched anime as childish. Then I started watching Attack on Titan and now I want to watch more anime. So this is the same thing happening with reading also, that we have some prejudgment against reading books. But once we take our first book and start reading it, then it would be easy for us to read more books. It only takes that 1 or 2 books to welcome you to this world of reading books. These are things that you will get by reading books. Books will help you to improve your English communication. It helps you to build your character. It will help you to become more empathic towards others. You will improve your imaginative power and build a healthy mind. Exercise is for body and reading is for your mind. To keep a healthy mind, you should be reading books. You feel depressed, you feel lonely, you might feel like crying, but books are the solution. And it is also said that it can improve your memory power. Isn't that enough excuse for you to read books? So the first step that beginner readers should do is select a book. In order to read a book, you need to select a book, right? You should be very careful when selecting that first book. That first book depends your future course of reading books. If that is hard, like some formula by Einstein, you should be leaving it behind. To make sure that it won't happen, it has to be something very simple and trivial that you feel like a fun ride. I help you to read it very quickly, to grasp that imaginative things, that story. I always suggest people to start reading from fiction because non-fiction is another level of books, like books that give you knowledge, but fiction, it can give you both knowledge and improve your imaginative power and entertainment. So start reading from fiction, that's what I suggest, and choose books with lesser number of pages. You will feel overwhelmed by 500 to 1000 pages long book, that you have time for that. Once you start reading, then you can choose higher ones and higher ones. But when you begin, I would always suggest choose a book in between 100 to 200 pages or 100 to 250 pages. This may seem childish, but I also suggest this. If that first book contains some pictures, it is nice. Pictures will help with your imagination, so you can read it very smoothly. The first book I read was a children's book, so it had contained pictures. If you want to know about that, I will leave that video link in the description. The second step you should be following is read little by little every day. It shouldn't be like this. You buy a book, you read one page or like a chapter today, and you come back after a month later. You will forget what you have read in the first chapter or the first page. You don't have to read like a chapter a day or 100 pages a day. Start by small, by 1 page a day, maybe 5 or 10. Set a clear target and start reading every day. Read 10 pages, whatever you can, a goal that you can achieve. It is you who is going to read, so set a target that is achievable for you. Don't cheat, it's your aim to complete a book. So set a target that you will follow for sure and keep that target, and also choose a time. That would be nice. I would suggest a fixed time for reading books. For example, I will read an hour before sleeping every day. Set a goal, or I will start reading in the morning every day. Keep that time for reading alone, whatever time that you choose that is comfortable for you. The third step I would say is, whenever you are reading, it's obvious that you are going to come across words that you don't know, and especially when you are a beginner, there would be a lot of words that you don't know. And my personal advice is this: don't mug up dictionaries. Don't go check out dictionaries right away. It will interrupt with the flow of reading books, and you wouldn't feel like continuing further. So my advice is this. This is even Shashi Tharoor said that don't mug up dictionaries. Instead, just keep on reading and try to figure out that word meanings yourself. I wouldn't say completely ignore those words. You can take a paper with you and write down just 2 words every day. Just write 2 words and check that meaning after reading this book. Why I stress after reading book is that when you check while you read books, you will get distracted easily. For example, you find a word and you take your phone, and that's when WhatsApp message comes in or an email comes in. So something will like that happen. So you have to avoid all those distractions while reading books. Read it entirely with your heart. I'm sorry that it's getting a bit dark here. It is going to rain outside. 4th step is, after having completed a book, post a photo in your WhatsApp status, Instagram story, or post its quotes somewhere. I do this. If you check out my YouTube community post, you will see a lot of quotes there. Whatever book I am reading, I will post that quotes there. Why it is important is that you took time to do something more productive than just swiping up and left every day on a screen. That is not that productive, but you spend that time more productively by reading books, by gaining knowledge. So let people know this is not for show off, but it is a kind of rewarding yourself because you found time for this thing in this technological era. It's a great thing. No matter how small book it is or how big book it is a great thing whatsoever. So post its videos or at least tell someone that I have read this book. Would you like to hear the story? After reading books, reward yourself. I'm sorry about this lighting. It's really dark out here. It's going to rain. So I will sum up the 4 points. First one, you have to select a book. Choose books with less pages. Second, be consistent with your reading. Read a few number of pages every single day. Third, don't check WhatsApp or other platform while reading. Reading time is only for reading. Avoid distractions. Don't check for words. 4th step is to reward yourself. You can buy yourself a biryani if you want to. Reading books is a long process. It takes hours of your time, but it's worth it. Having found time to hear me out itself shows that you are interested in reading books. Take your first book today itself and let me know in the comment section. Watch my video of how I started reading books. Share these videos to your friends and also help them to start reading books. Thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe to this channel. I will see you on the next one.